The 78th United Nations General Debate is underway as part of a period of high-level discussions that run through September 26. In Argentina, the Chamber of Deputies approved measures to strengthen employment and education, together with the approval of the reforms of the income tax law. Azerbaijani authorities confirmed the suspension of its military operation in the territory of Nagorno-Karabakh after the Armenian forces announced that they would lay down their arms and cease fire. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. The general debate of the 78th session of the UN General Assembly continues on Wednesday, with world leaders speaking out in support of peace and the implementation of the 2030 Agenda. On the second day of the general debate of the UN General Assembly hosted interventions focused on the search for equality in access to health, science and technology applied to developed as ways for food security, the redesign of international financial architecture, as well as the rejections of policies of economic sanctions to countries such as Venezuela, Cuba and Zimbabwe. On the other hand, it is worth mentioning that different leaders of the African continent have participated, and President of Rwanda called for African integration and for their countries to unite in a single voice. During his speech at the UN General Assembly, the President of the Dominican Republic, Luis Abinader, addressed the environmental issues in Haiti and the reason that led to the closure of the border with that nation.
Since April 2021, our government has repeatedly sought for the Haitian authorities to stop the unilateral and illegal construction of this project. The Haitian government itself has indicated that it is not a government-run project, but it has not been able to stop it because of institutional weakness and the public order and security crisis ongoing in that country. The situation has already led to a fragile animosity on both sides of the border. Faced with this illegal international act committed by private individuals in a part of the river that is on Haitian territory, the Dominican government has been forced to take forceful measures, such as closing the border with Haiti, in order to guarantee security and our national interest, as well as to protect our rivers, environment and agricultural production. We do not have, nor do we seek or desire, a confrontation with the Haitian people, but we face uncontrollable actors who foment insecurity in Haiti for their particular interests and who are now conspiring against their own government's stability and the security of water resources.
The President of the Dominican Republic also spoke of ways to achieve peace in Haitian territory.
What is happening in Haiti is a breakdown of law and order caused by criminal elements without any political or ideological claims, and therefore welcoming the Haitian authorities' request for assistance by sending a multinational force would be in keeping with the spirit and the letter of the United Nations Charter and the mandate of this organization, in accordance with international law, as a way of guaranteeing the peace. We are all aware that the process of achieving peace in Haiti must be undertaken together with a social and political agreement. In this regard, we commend the noble efforts made by the CARICOM group of eminent leaders to reach a political agreement that will allow the greatest possible legitimacy of the acceptance of a multinational force and the holding of fair, free and transparent elections.
In her speech to the United Nations General Assembly, the Honduran president denounced that global capitalism causes misery and inequality between consumer societies and others with severe deprivations.
Today, we must recognize that at the current pace, we won't be able to reach the Sustainable Development Goals and secure enough financing for climate adaptation. It's not an issue of taking steps, but rather proposing changes to the economic system that requires a deep-rooted commitment to humanity and to nature. There is no invisible hand. There is no spillover. Practice has shown us that the application of global capitalism and the neoliberal model only causes misery, inequality, and a crazy individualism from consumerist societies against enormous deprivation for billions of people.
The President of Honduras, Xiomara Castro, condemned the blockades against Cuba and Venezuela during her speech at the UN General Assembly and also denounced the coercive measures imposed against the government of Nicaragua.
We condemn the long-standing and cruel blockade against Cuba and against Venezuela. Further, we demand the removal of Cuba from the list of terrorist countries. This is a manipulative, false, and capricious measure. Similarly, the unfair measures and sanctions against Nicaragua must be removed.
During the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly, the President of Sierra Leone expressed the need to achieve the goals of the 2030 Agenda and end poverty, hunger, and insecurity.
The resonant theme of this General Assembly, therefore, opens a horizon of possibilities, beckoning us to harmoniously forge ahead in a shared pursuit of accelerating actions on the 2030 Agenda and its sustainable development goals towards peace, prosperity, progress, and enduring sustainability for all. Our world faces formidable challenges: widespread poverty, persistent hunger, the looming shadow of climate change, and the unsettling presence of sustained and emerging conflicts.
The President of Sierra Leone also declared that African nations fight for their sovereignty based on mutual respect and understanding.
African states strive for sovereignty and meaningful cooperation based on mutual respect and understanding. In democratic processes, every democracy faces unique challenges. However, the essence of sovereignty, as contained in the UN Charter, is the ability of member states to address and resolve internal matters independently and without external pressure.
During his speech at the 78th session of the UN General Assembly, the President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo declared that after 25 years of UN missions to promote peace in the African country, the time has come for the DRC to take control of its destiny.
Following a presence of more than 2 decades by the UN, it's time for my country to fully take its destiny in hand and to become the main protagonist of its own stability. We are grateful to the international community and to the United Nations for their support and their partnership. But we are also aware that the phased withdrawal of MONUSCO is a necessary stage to consolidate progress that we have already achieved. Nonetheless, it should be deplored that the peacekeeping missions that have been deployed in various forms for 25 years in the Democratic Republic of the Congo have not been able to stop rebellions and armed conflicts that have torn apart the DRC and the Great Lakes region, nor have they succeeded in protecting the civilian populations.
Moreover, at the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly, the President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo expressed that the government is waiting for the crafting of peace in his country.
The DRC is awaiting the next meeting of the Security Council, which will focus in particular on our request, and we want it to be constructive when it comes to the management of the delicate and laborious process of crafting peace in our country.
The President of Liberia said that the Sustainable Development Goals must be achieved as well as the Agenda of the 2030.
We must continue to promote global solidarity and rebuild trust in accelerating progress on the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. The SDGs, by design, require bilateral and multilateral collaborations to achieve the result we seek. The theme of this year's debate, rebuilding trust, reuniting global solidarity, accelerating actions on the 2020 agenda and its SDGs towards peace, prosperity, progress, and sustainability for all, adequately captured our current global demands.
We're going to take our first short break, but we would like you to join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you can find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. One short break, we'll be right back. Welcome back from the South. The President of the United States, Joe Biden, and his Brazilian counterpart, Lula da Silva, held a meeting within the framework of the General Session of the United Nations. Shortly after the beginning of the meeting, the President assured that in the face of the challenges of climate change, poverty levels, and economic inequalities, workers are a priority for both countries. In this sense, the leaders of both countries announced the launching of a joint global initiative to elevate the central role of workers in a sustainable, democratic, equitable, and peaceful world. Also, Brazilian President Lula da Silva recently rejected allegations of authoritarianism in Venezuela and called for less dependence on the dollar and accused the United States of fueling the bloodshed in Ukraine by sending weapons to Kiev.
Happened in Brazil, it is happening in Argentina, and has happened in several.
In Argentina, the Chamber of Deputies approved measures to strengthen employment and education, and together with the approval of the reform of the income tax law. The reform law that gives way to the elimination of the income tax was approved on Tuesday with 135 votes in favor. With this action, the bill was sent to the Argentine Senate chamber to be discussed. The norm establishes that the tax will only be paid by those who earn more than 15 minimum monthly salaries. During the session, the Argentine deputies also endorsed the creation of a program for the generation and strengthening of Argentine employment, Empleo MIPYME, which seeks to promote the hiring of workers as well as to improve the quality of their benefits. On Tuesday, the creation of 5 new universities was also approved as part of an initiative that seeks to strengthen the development of the country. The President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, met with his Bolivian counterpart, Luis Arce. This was the fourth visit made by the Bolivian president with the aim of strengthening ties of friendship, cooperation, and solidarity. The President of Bolivia arrived in the country to hold a meeting in order to strengthen strategic and bilateral alliances with the Venezuelan nation. The Bolivian president arrived in Venezuela a few hours after his participation in a general debate of the 78th session of the UN General Assembly, where he called to banish the implementation of unilateral sanctions and condemned the blockade of the United States of America against the island of Cuba. In this context, the Bolivian head of state visited Venezuela on April 30th, where 13 strategic cooperation agreements were signed. The Venezuelan government informed that the liberation operation Cacique Guaycaipuro in its first phase has been a total success. The official statement noted that the executive congratulates the police departments for the clean and immediate restitution of order and the absolute control of the penitentiary center of Tocorón. It also informs that this center will undergo a restructuring process and will be completely dismantled. In this sense, the issue text underlines that during the effective operation, a center of conspiracy and crime used by an international criminal network against the Venezuelan population was dismantled. The Bolivarian government has thanked the country for the spirit of unity demonstrated in this struggle for the defense of social peace. In this context, the Bolivarian government informed that after the successful intervention of the penitentiary center Tocorón early on Wednesday, the second phase of the liberation operation Cacique Guaycaipuro, corresponding to the process of search, pursuit, and capture of fugitives, is in progress. In an official statement, the authorities reiterated to the people of Venezuela that the objective of the operation is to liberate society from the criminal gangs that threaten the people. In this sense, the report noted that all security forces are deployed in perfect social articulation through the police departments and ensure that each and every one of the criminals will be captured. Finally, the statement added that the commitment is to citizen security, the defense of peace, and the right to life for everyone. We have our second and final short break, but we invite you to join us on our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you can revisit our broadcastings, special interviews, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back from the south. Nagorno-Karabakh authorities on Wednesday announced a ceasefire with Azerbaijan that has been reached with the mediation of Russian peacekeepers. For its part, the Ministry of Defense of Azerbaijan confirmed the cessation of local anti-terrorist measures in the disputed region. The Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Azerbaijan informs that, taking into account the appeal of the representative of the Armenian residents of Karabakh received through the Russian peacekeeping contingent, an agreement was reached to suspend local anti-terrorist measures on September 20th, 2023 at 1 p.m. local time. The ministry specified that there are a number of conditions that must be fulfilled for the agreement to take effect. It requires that formations of the armed forces of Armenia and illegal Armenian armed formations located in the Karabakh region of the Republic of Azerbaijan lay down their arms, abandon combat positions and military posts, and completely disarm. In Azerbaijan, a group of Russian soldiers were killed in an attack on their vehicle in the Nagorno-Karabakh region. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, the vehicle was attacked with small arms while returning from an observation post of the Russian peacekeeping contingent in the area of the village of Sanyatak. Russian and Azerbaijani representatives of the investigative agency are working on the spot to clarify all the circumstances of what happened. By agreements of the parties, Russia stationed a peacekeeping contingent in the area following the clash between Azerbaijan and Armenia on September 23, 2020 in Nagorno-Karabakh. Like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. Remember, you can find this and many other news on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For teleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.